It's just the most bullshit thing. And I literally had to pay them a lot of...
Gervonta Davis was being very difficult to work with, and Netflix was just waiting.
Like they're literally suing me for something I didn't do. I had to pay a ton of money just to get this behind me. Jake Paul just got hit with a Netflix lawsuit after losing to Anthony Joshua, and I watched the whole thing unfold in real time. What was promised, what it was marketed as, and what actually happened, it was night and day. This wasn't some small-time event slipping under the radar. Netflix hyped it as a global heavyweight showdown, not influencer nonsense or a charity exhibition. The marketing screamed legitimacy. Joshua versus Paul. Real judges, ringside doctors, broadcast cameras, and a real professional arena. Everything was built to look credible, and Netflix paid serious money to make it happen. Jake walked in like he owned the ring. All confidence, all bravado. Social media had already built him up as untouchable, fearless, built differently. That was the story everyone was sold. But across from him stood Anthony Joshua, former two-time unified heavyweight champion, Olympic gold medalist, and one of the most disciplined athletes in the world. This wasn't a retired MMA fighter cashing in, or a basketball player trying boxing as a challenge, or some nostalgia act trading on old fame. This was a prime, active, elite-level heavyweight. Every punch he threw carried years of experience. Every movement trained over thousands of rounds. Jake had highlight reels, hype videos, and carefully managed opponents chosen to protect his record. Joshua had losses that taught him lessons no social media clip could ever replicate. The difference wasn't subtle, it was brutal. From the opening bell, the gap in skill, timing, and instinct was clear. Jake's game plan became pure survival, lateral movement, avoiding exchanges, clinching to reset, and repeating. He was desperate to conserve energy, trying to exist in the ring without getting hit too hard. Joshua, on the other hand, measured everything, slowed the pace deliberately, observed patterns, and let fatigue and fundamentals do the heavy lifting. By the fifth round, the illusion of competitiveness completely evaporated. 2 knockdowns in a single round stripped away any doubt. These weren't random flukes or lucky punches. Every collapse was a product of skill, experience, and preparation. Overwhelming hype and bravado. Balance gone, defensive structure unraveling, legs stiffening, breathing labored. This was as clear a mismatch as you could see on a global stage. By the 6th round, the end was inevitable. One perfectly timed clean power shot, and the fight was over. The referee didn't hesitate, because there was nothing left to prove. Jake's body had already surrendered before the count even mattered. The aftermath was brutal to watch. Social media exploded with reactions, some shocked he lasted 6 rounds. Others horrified at how helpless he looked under real pressure. Confidence in social media clout didn't protect him from actual punches, and all the hype in the world couldn't hide that truth. And then there was the injury. Initially reported as a broken jaw, medical imaging revealed something far worse. A double fracture. Recovery would take weeks, maybe longer, with full training completely halted. Eating, speaking, even basic movements became difficult. And yet, Jake spun it into content jokes, social media posts, marketing material, engagement farming. No real reflection on the loss, no lessons learned, just branding. But it wasn't just about the fight. Jake had another massive event on the horizon, a fight against Tank Davis, scheduled for November 14th in Miami. This wasn't casual. Tickets were sold, marketing campaigns active, sponsors locked in, and Netflix had committed serious investment. Total projected value, around $120 million. Production crews were ready, promotion budgets spent, and technical infrastructure set up. Then, without negotiation, compromise, or rescheduling, Jake canceled the fight outright. Netflix didn't sue over miscommunication or unforeseen circumstances. They alleged willful breach of contract. That word matters. $100 million in claimed damages. Potentially more as Discovery reveals the financial fallout. This wasn't just a fight lost in the ring. Jake's actions embarrassed Netflix, angered sponsors, and damaged trust across the industry. This is a company that thrives on precision and control. And suddenly they looked reckless for betting heavily on an influencer who treated contracts like suggestions. Advertisers didn't forget. Netflix executives didn't forget. And this is going to affect Jake's credibility for years to come. Platforms, sponsors, and promoters all notice when someone costs them this much money in public humiliation. Even the cultural narrative around Jake was exposed. All his fearless, built differently branding collided with reality. Confidence doesn't replace experience. Social media hype doesn't protect from real-world consequences. Cameras and editing can't cushion the impact of someone who's spent over a decade perfecting their craft. And as fans watched, the truth was undeniable. This was a slow, methodical dismantling. By the final bell, the story wasn't about heart or bravery. It was about reality catching up to hype, skill outperforming social media persona, and consequences for treating serious commitments lightly. The canceled fight, the Netflix lawsuit, the medical aftermath. This entire chain of events paints a picture of what happens when fame, confidence, and calculated risk collide. Jake lost more than a boxing match. He burned credibility, financial trust, and public goodwill all at once. For viewers, the lesson is clear. Skill, preparation, and accountability can't be replaced by hype, clout, or bravado. And no matter how confident you feel walking into a situation, reality doesn't negotiate. So yeah, he walked out of that fight, smiling for the cameras, posting jokes, creating content. But behind the social media veneer, the truth was brutal. Experience always wins. Contracts aren't optional, and real consequences exist for everyone, even for someone built differently online. The hype, the bravado, the highlight reels, they don't save you in the ring or in business. And now, Netflix is making sure the world knows exactly what that costs.